to ensure non-discrimination and equal access to all its citizens, the county gathers statistical data regarding participants in county activities. Therefore, we've provided a voluntary Title VI public involvement survey at this meeting. You're not required to complete this survey. However, the form is anonymous and will be used solely for the purpose of monitoring our compliance with Title VI and the ADA. As indicated in the notice of the executive session, this meeting was to discuss interviews and negotiations with industrial or commercial prospects or agents of industrial or commercial prospects by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, the Office of Tourism Development, the Indiana Finance Authority, an Economic Development Commission, a local economic development organization as defined in Indiana Code, or a governing body of a political subdivision which is classified confidential by state and federal statutes under Indiana Code. Also indicated in the published notice of the executive session, the discussions during the executive session dealt with issues deemed confidential, subject to Indiana Code, which pertains to discussing strategy with respect to the purchase or lease of real property by the governing body up to the time a contract or option to purchase or lease is executed by the parties. This memorandum certifies that no other matters except for those which this executive session recalled were discussed during the executive session. You've all received a copy of the minutes of the July 14th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections?
And I have one correction. Says Jake under Bayer Becker updates, should be Jordan.
Oh,
Just hoping Jake.
We have a Jordan, so I mean at Barnes and Thorburn that we use, so.
It says hoping Jake can talk to people at state to move project along. I think it was, yeah, I know.
where's Jake to want, is Jake our?
Jake Germain.
German,
Germain.
is that who it was referring to or? Okay,
That's what I
okay,
thought.
you can leave it then, yep.
Okay. Any other potential additions or corrections? Now I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving the minutes of the July 14 meeting, say aye.
You want a motion?
Sorry,
Mr. Dean, would
Oh.
you like a motion?
please. Would you mind?
I would. I'll take
All right.
it. I'll do that on it.
Thank you. Would there be a second?
Second.
Have we already had the vote or should we do it again? Let's just do it one more time. All in favor, say of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved.
Did we do action for executive session?
Well, I said, oh. I thought I read that, but I have to say it.
No,
I have
no,
to say
you,
it.
do you have any?
There
action?
aren't, there are no actions from the executive session.
Okay, I missed it if you said it, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I thought that last little thing I read covered it and it didn't. I need a handler, Sue.
We all do at times, Mr. Deaton.
Hey, it gets worse every day. Claims. Well, I had a chance to take a look at the claims as they're listed in the agenda. Claims for the Moore Lane project and the and task for Bayer and Becker. Any comments or questions?
Question, who reviews these before this comes to us? When the county reviews these and.
No one, we review them.
Oh,
We have power to approve or disapprove them and pay them out of our budget.
I mean, who has detailed understanding of what's gone on and so forth and.
Correct.
and read the details.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
The task.
Well, the first one is engineering costs for the Moore Lane project.
Right.
And the second one is just the it's task task 5A that we approved.
Mhm.
And this is just completing task 5A.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just wondering what the process is, who looks at these things, goes over the details, meets with Bear Becker. And finds out exactly what happened and when, because we don't do that. We're not paid to do anything like that. I
Right.
read the reports that were given to us before the meeting, but who's watching
Yeah.
this thing?
Well, the specifications are in the task order. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yes, so,
And he's just saying, okay, that's what we've done, now pay us.
There's nothing else we need to do.
Anything else we need to do?
to answer your question, in some cases, like there's deliverables that come out of it, so when we last week. In what they provided redevelopment, as you remember, that included a geotechnical report that had been produced under. One of the task orders thing 5A, so that's like evidence that that work has been completed.
Yes.
Then you also have at each of your meetings, their reports out on what they're doing to move each of these things along, but. Is there something specific you're concerned with, or just kind of generally who's looking over these invoices when they come in and having a conversation with Mark?
Right, the process, because these are progress payments, I'm assuming, as I look at them, they're progress payments. And, if we're paying for another 15% completion, who's having the discussion with them and looking at the drawings and looking at the, as you call it, deliverables to see whether or not indeed there's 15% there and what's left over. Is that something that One Dearborn would do for us, or something that we should ask One Dearborn to do? In other words, somebody who's getting paid to do this and
Yeah.
spend professional time and put their name on it and say, hey, guys, this is proceeding the way as it's planned to do, so.
Do you want to report on it? I mean, we have a lot of conversations between meetings with Bear Becker. We're working hand in hand with Bear Becker on,
I have seen the deliverables, they're quite extensive. I'm not an engineer. I assume that they were ready for delivery to the people who are gonna build the road. And that's what it is, it's the engineering report. That makes it, the information. Tell me if I'm not, the information necessary for the person who's going to build a road.
I think what Mr. Kenny's looking for is you may want to drill down a spreadsheet. Have more of a spreadsheet of all the fees that are kind of going on, because now we're starting to measure out. I got geotech. We got Ohio, Indiana rail yard fees now coming in on board, of which they just sent last week with 3 invoices. And I reviewed them on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission to make sure that I felt like that was legitimate, basically the 7,940.54 there. So, but for my fees, we can certainly provide a spreadsheet for it that helps the board, if that helps you out in terms of what we're doing.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yes. I guess what I'm asking for would be, if, they have some sort of comfort here, some sort of official comfort from One Dearborn, for example, to Mark, to take that responsibility on and in conjunction with Bear Becker. And make this is on track. And indeed, this work's been done, and we're following it that way. We're having the conversations. We've been over deliverables, whether that's a report or some sort of a progress thing, so that we have something to look at, because I mean, I'm not sure what good I'm doing by voting yes or no on these things when I really, when I see the bill, I really don't have the depth of knowledge to know where we're at in the project. And I think we should have somebody that we're paying to say, yes, this is good and this is why. And we can ask them questions, we can ask Bear Becker questions if we want to, and move forward. But just to be presented with the invoice and not have that affirmation, that positive comfort, that, hey, guys, this is where your staff and we're doing
Let
this.
me ask this, is that what we're paying you to do?
Yes. I'm hired to go ahead and act on your behalf
Mhm.
on these tasks, and that's what we're doing right now. We're only billing what we put into it.
Okay,
And that's it. So currently, the task, number 4. We've built out, I don't know, maybe 80% of it so far, that's it. We're not building out the other 20% unless I'm asked to do some more things. Like interact with NDOT or something of that nature. So that's kind of where we're at. So. That's the only task that I've really been staying under right now because it's not gone anywhere, the other tasks.
Yeah.
Because of the NDOT.
okay, so we've already hired Bayer Becker to manage this project for us, and when you submit these subcontractor invoices and your own invoice,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is, and you're making that affirmation to us,
Yeah.
that that's what it is. Okay, all right, now I understand, and one Dearborn, while they can be involved in it, they don't have that
We're-
official capacity.
Mike and I are communicating on every aspect.
Okay.
Some time back, we did an interview session with several engineering firms. And we made a selection of Bayer Becker to represent us from an engineering capacity.
Okay.
We give it to them and rely on their engineering professionalism to provide for us.
So the fact that it's made it to this far, we've got our consultants and our engineers saying, yeah, this is good.
And we've approved them to do these tasks.
Exactly. Oh, I understand that, Jim. I understand.
Yeah,
that entirely. I'm
so
not
to me,
question- I'm not questioning
I,
that.
well, I would,
Yeah.
I understand that maybe we don't dig into it enough at the time of approval of the task to see what the actual cost is, although I think we have, and we've always been given estimates and that.
I kind of looked at it and I really didn't understand it.
So this particular task that we want to describe, I will be presenting the stuff to you, what I think before, and we have this board approving. So when I come with that design, which I'm hoping by next month, I'll have some kind of design on all this, present to you to approve that.
Okay.
That's part of my fee, so we're acting on your behalf.
Okay.
Just like one Dearborn or so forth.
Kind of have the feeling I understand this a lot better now. Thank you.
Hey, I'll tell you what,
Thanks.
as you look around, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who have only been doing this for like, what, 3 months? So questions like that are probably necessary and expected.
And I want to say just, I'm thankful that Mike and you guys have put online when we can go and investigate the different tasks. And before, we didn't even have that, right? I mean, we had to wait till we got the paper copy, and now at any time we can click on the different tasks where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So we have these 2 invoice items to approve today or disapprove.
I move that we pay the 2 claims.
Second.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the accounts payable are approved. Thank you, ma'am. In your package for this meeting, you'll find the financials. You take a look and we're open to any questions or comments. If there are none, old business. Mike, you had a presentation on this one? Did you want to do that one now? Well, this is the RETIF on the whitewater processing area.
Thank you.
All right, last month, we discussed with you about, proposing this new allocation area in West Harrison for the, whitewater processing project, which is, actually, Dirt's going to start moving on that this week, if it hasn't already, today. I drove by the site yesterday. They've got an excavator out there. So groundbreaking is imminent, for that project. So Anthony and I have been working together to draft the resolution and exhibits, which are in your meeting packet today. And so I just wanted to kind of lay out why One Dearborn is making the recommendation to the Redevelopment Commission to establish this new allocation area. So I put some slides together. So just to kind of review basic TIF mechanics, this will look familiar from when you got a presentation back in April from Baker Tilly, and they kind of did their TIF primer for you. Just kind of basically how TIF works. Very rudimentary example, but a kind of an example nonetheless. And then kind of the various layers of a redevelopment district in a TIF area. So you can consider the largest black kind of outlined area is Dearborn County. The red area would be the West Harrison Economic Development Area, and that yellow shaded area would be what we're proposing as a new allocation area for the whitewater processing project. You do have multiple allocation areas already in West Harrison. One is for the whitewater mill project. If you look back at your financial sheet that we just reviewed, you'll see that you have a fund for the whitewater mill TIF for the whitewater mill allocation area, and you have a general West Harrison allocation area and a fund is set up for that. So if this proceeds with your vote tonight and through the various approvals that we'd have to go through in due time, you would see a new fund show up on your financial report for whitewater mill or for whitewater processing, pardon me. Okay, so why are we doing this? To ensure the Redevelopment Commission has resources to continue attracting employers and building tax base in West Harrison and beyond. Our recommendation to do this is kind of based on the fact that, you have projects, various projects that you're executing on now and that you maybe execute on in the future to support ongoing economic development in West Harrison. One example, the Moore Drive project and the rail crossing, we know the budget on that is about $750,000 to perform that project. The I-74 on-ramp lengthening, though that looks to be out on a further timeline right now based on the feedback we're getting from NDOT. That's a $3.7 million estimated project today, which the Redevelopment Commission last year approved a letter committing 10% local matching funds to that project to help move that up NDOT's priority list. That's another $370,000 in Redevelopment Commission funds committed to an infrastructure project. More recently, I've been working with Mr. Mansfield and Mr. Kraus on discussions with Tri-Township Water Corporation on investing in water infrastructure in West Harrison. The water there currently is getting kind of constrained. So as you know, the large water user is the COP project, the whitewater processing project. And so if we're going to be able to attract other projects to West Harrison on other sites, including the sites that this commission owns, we'll need to make sure that there's ample water capacity, even if it's just for fire protection, much less processed water to serve those developments. And we don't know what the cost of that infrastructure is going to be today. These are very early discussions we're having with Tri-Township Water right now. But early discussions have included possibly new ground tanks, anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million gallons to serve the West Harrison TIF. And then also possibly a new water treatment plant dedicated for the West Harrison TIF and the economic development occurring there in the future. And these things, I don't know what they are. Tri-Township's been hesitant to put a number on them, but I mean, this could be $1 million or millions of dollars to make these investments to ensure we have the water capacity to continue serving new developments in West Harrison. And then there's even beyond that, things we may not even know about today that arise as needs in the future based on whatever projects may come in the future. In consideration of all that, looking at your financial report, you currently have about, and the numbers in here are updated a little bit, so they might be a little off, but about $1.7 million in existing TIF cash on hand in West Harrison and the Whitewater Mill TIF funds. And so we're about to spend close to $1 million. Well, $750,000 on Moore Drive. We got 370,000 committed for the I-74 on-ramp lengthening. So that begins to eat up a pretty significant chunk of the cash on hand that you have on hand today anyway. And then in the future, the Redevelopment Commission could decide about using funding from West Harrison to support projects in other areas, potentially Bright, where you set up an economic development area, or Kelso Township, where you have another economic development area. These are smaller TIFs. You know, you have a big, strong TIF district in West Harrison, which is growing by leaps and bounds now with more projects coming between Dyke Industries and Whitewater Processing. You know, you might, Redevelopment Commission may want the flexibility in the future to support projects in either Kelso Township or Bright. And so again, trying to better resource the Redevelopment Commission to kind of take on these other needs across Dearborn County. So what? A new TIF allocation area within the West Harrison Economic Development Area. These parcels were TIFed at various times. The northern parcel, and we'll show you a map on the next slide. The northern parcel in the top project site, it was TIFed, we believe, in 2006, and then the southern parcel, number 2, in 2015. Now, even though those were TIFed back then, there's been no growth or development on these two parcels since 2006 or 15, possibly, or certainly even going back well beyond then. So no new tax base has been created on these two parcels at this time. And because there's been no growth or development, the Redevelopment Commission has collected little or nothing in TIF revenue from these two parcels. The annual TIF neutralization process has reduced, you know, what would be the benefit from an increase in assessed values, which are more impacted by, you know, Indiana's market-based assessment system. So it kind of wipes out any increase in the base AV through that TIF neutralization process. I'm working on getting the data. I don't have the data on exactly what number Redevelopment may have collected on either of these two parcels since they were TIFed. I don't know those numbers today. I'm sorry. But I'm pretty safe in assuming it's a very minuscule amount in relation to what you collected TIF. And in the scope of the county's entire tax base. All right, so again, where we're only proposing this new allocation area cover 2 parcels in West Harrison. Those are the 2 parcels where COPS project is occurring. You can see those there. It's about 91 acres approximately total, just 2 parcels. So when now until 2050. So the resolution you have does state we would set up this new allocation area for the maximum allowed by statute, which is 25 years. That would have this allocation area exist from this year until 2050. We do recommend TIFing this now. Again, I bring up that kind of basic TIF mechanics model. You would have to TIF it this year again with this project breaking ground this year. If you're going to collect the full assessed value prior to that new development starting, you'd want to TIF it this year because there's going to be a partial assessment, presumably come January 1st of 2026. And so whatever's been constructed there as of January 1st, 2026, Redevelopment Commission would be unable to capture that. So you want to TIF it this year so that January 1st of 2025 is the base date. And so you capture all the increment coming from this new development. So who and how, we recommend following the statutory process for establishing a new TIF allocation area. That includes the proposed action that we're recommending tonight, which is the declaratory resolution being passed. That declaratory resolution, again, in your meeting packets. Following that, if you want to move forward with this, Plan Commission would have to make a finding of alignment with Dearborn County's comprehensive plan. We would likely go to Plan Commission in September. We would then go to the Board of Commissioners, approving of that Plan Commission order, tentatively in October. And then it would come back to the Redevelopment Commission. We would advertise a public hearing. And then the Redevelopment Commission would consider passage of a confirmatory resolution we're anticipating in November, to essentially cinch up this process. I do want to note there's no TIF bond associated with this proposed new allocation area at this time. So we don't have to go for county council approval. You only need council approval in situations where you're issuing debt on an allocation area. And we're not doing that in this case. We have drafted a timeline. I can't remember if I think it is in your meeting packets, a copy of that timeline we've put together, which we typically do for doing these processes, just to make sure everybody remains on the same page. And that new allocation area, it would follow the existing West Harrison Economic Development Plan, which we last updated in 2021. And that's all I got. If there's any questions, and I think Anthony can help with some questions that you may have as well.
Yeah, our attorneys had considerable experience doing this. And I just wondered if there's anything you might add to so many new people here to understand this process.
I think Mike did a great job going through it. Typically what you see when you incentivize new projects is basically carving out those parcels so that you can collect the taxes to pay those. You're not re-tipping the entire area, you list those specific parcels where you incentivize the project. So I think Mike covered that. But this is a typical process that.
Thank you. Questions? Yes, sir.
So the first parcel was 2006, second 2015. Both of those were 25-year on the TIFs. Is that correct? So they would expire after 25 years from the date. Yeah. Okay. Do we, in addition with that, did anybody do any sort of estimates kind of showing what if we did not re-TIF, what it would look like, value captured in funds for the TIF, comparing if we did re-TIF and if we didn't by any chance?
So as part of the TIF process, one thing that is required to be produced is a tax impact statement. Typically we'll wait for the declaratory resolution to be passed before we ask Baker Tilly or whoever you'd want to use to do that tax impact statement. And the tax impact statements, you may have seen one of these before. We may have provided examples previously for the board, but it'll list various scenarios. Here's what happens. Here's what happens today. Here's what happens in a scenario where the development occurs and there's no TIF established. And here's what happens in a scenario where the development occurs and it's TIF. So that would be produced, but we don't ask Baker Tilly to produce those until the Redevelopment Commission makes an action to proceed with it.
Okay. Is the 25 years, is that pretty common with TIFs across Indiana, or what? Where do 25 years come from?
It's the maximum allowable by statute. In my experience, they typically do go the max. I think there might be one case I know of locally with like crossing at Tanner's Creek might have been at 15, or was that a 20?
It was the 15 for a hotel.
Yeah,
That's where Miranda's.
yeah,
Okay.
that's Casey Kaniga's development on one. Like that one was, HOTIF can go 20 years. A single family residential TIF or a HOTIF, the max on that statutorily is 20 years, but Greendale only TIFed that one for 15.
Yeah.
So there are examples of these TIFs running on a shorter timeline than the maximum.
Other questions, comments?
I mean, it sounds like a long time to TIF an area. I know there's a massive project going in. This, I don't know. It feels like a lot of tax revenue to I know we don't have to include council with the approval process, but technically we can. Correct, for this, we could.
Yeah, I mean, you could always go and do a presentation for them.
Yeah.
I did have a conversation with council's leadership and just made them aware of that, redevelopment was entertaining this. So I've kind of, we try to be very careful about
Yeah.
communicating with council and keeping them abreast of what's going on here. So we did kind of, as a courtesy, have told them about the proposed action tonight. So, but we could always, through the approval process, if you wanted, ask to appear on a council agenda, and Mr. Deaton could go and share the.
I feel more comfortable with that personally.
So what is the actions today? Like, what are we going to be looking at today?
In your packet, you'll find a declaratory resolution, and this is the resolution that we'll need to take care of today to keep it on track.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on this today.
Yes.
And to be clear, it's those two parcels. It's the parcel that Tops own, the back one and the front one. They own all of that, or we own part of that?
No, just, that's all owned by 4K Real Estate, which is Cops.
Okay,
Yeah.
both.
Mr. President, can I come up to the podium for a moment?
Would you
Come on.
Okay.
I just want to make it kind of clear for the board that this TIF ends in 6 years on the main portion that's out of the floodplain. We're estimated to get about $77,000 a year. This was by Baker Tilly when they looked at this project in real property taxes. The problem is that we abated the taxes on that. So because our TIF is expiring, we won't be getting any taxes for, I think, 10 years is what we abated it for.
Right.
Okay. You've committed $1 million essentially for this project. So we've got to recoup that money somehow. So it does make sense to do a longer TIF. Now, what I would say, if you're concerned about the length of your TIF, there is a process where you could end it early or you can pass TIF through. A lot of redevelopment commissions don't like to do that because they find projects to do, but that is something you could do in the future if, West Harrison's completely developed, you don't need the money, you're done with projects, you can pass that through to the county.
Okay.
And actually every year, and Connie can tell you, we tell all of the taxing units if we're gonna use all our TIF or we're not gonna all, okay? So that's something to keep in mind, but I think because we did the 10-year abatement, it probably is important on this to go ahead and do the 25-year TIF. Just so that, because if you don't do it now, you're gonna lose your chance once that building is built.
So you said their taxes were abated for 10 years, starting from what date?
From when they build,
From when
they
they build.
they'll submit a form to the county, then they've got 10 years.
Okay, so that first parcel, then the TIF will run out before there's any tax revenue.
Yeah.
And the second parcel, there'll still be a little bit of time left on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say any revenue because that abatement schedule was graduated. It wasn't like we abated 100% of our taxes every year for 10 years. We abated 100% the first year, 90% the second year, 80% the third year, so on, reducing by 10% each year until it.
That's still pretty.
minuscule. Yeah.
So, okay. I don't know. I just am curious about, I would like to see the numbers, because it's all, sounds great, but if we're gonna collect a lot of money and hold on to it, I'd like to see some of it returned to the county and figure out what our payback period is gonna be on a lot of the stuff.
Just so I understand, right, I'm all in favor of doing the resolution, but to help you guys. If we don't do this, and pass the resolution, we could lose out on some money. If we pass it, there's still several steps that have to go through and be approved by us at the end of the day. So all those numbers and questions come into play after we do the resolution. That's the way I look at it, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jim.
So it's the pleasure of the board, what you want to do. We'll say, as I kind of outlined here on this slide, the timeline, or pardon me, maybe it's the previous slide. That was this slide. On on current timeline, if you pass this today, we probably don't get to a public hearing until November. You do want to wrap this up this calendar year. So just keep that in mind.
This is our proposed timeline right here, correct?
Yeah, that's it. Subject to change.
Other questions or comments?
This is just the first step of many, so
That's
we have to
exactly
take
right.
this one tonight and
Yeah.
see where it goes.
This is the kickoff.
Simple as that.
Would you like, I mean, you're a member of council, would you like to see council part of that?
Sure.
If possible?
I think it transparency and everything, have them involved and
Yeah,
get their feelings about it, because
sure.
I would definitely vote the way they felt as a whole on this issue when it comes that time.
Sure.
Well, if there are no questions, there are no comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the resolution DCRC 2025-005.
Is there a second?
I second.
Other comments or questions?
So we are going to have council be a part of the approval process.
That's not part of this vote.
But can we include that in the motion to where that's part of the approval process? I would be more comfortable with that personally.
Okay.
I apologize for not
Oh, that's.
making that before we made the
that's okay.
motion.
That's all right. You wanna add?
My
In the motion.
motion to include inviting council to be part of this process of DCRC 2025-005.
Okay. In that case, I have a question. What part are they going to play? Because their approval isn't required by this process. Is it just informing them, or are we going to change the procedure and say, we're going to go to them for approval?
Do you want council to vote on it? I guess is the question.
I mean, I would.
Do we have their blessing?
Yeah, I think for checks and
Yes.
balances purposes, and I mean, they have half the appointees on this board.
Well. I don't wanna throw a wrench into this, but there is a checks and balances. Which is that planning looks to make sure that what you're doing meets the comp plan of the county. Then the county executive is checking to see whether or not they want to utilize this as a allocation or not. So I don't have the issues.
And I'm not saying it's gonna be a surprise when they see it. I'm not,
No.
I get that.
Is that gonna slow down the process to the point where we're not gonna be able to do this before January 1st?
I don't think so. I mean,
They've been
we're not
meeting
bringing it back to this board best case scenario until November. So, I think in the meantime, I know there's a meeting scheduled for council later this month and one in September.
You know what, Mike, I'm thinking. We talked about this before. Is seeing if Baker Tilly could maybe put this presentation. In with council on. Like the tip and the impact study with this project.
Mhm.
That could be really helpful.
Yeah, and so it will take time to generate the tax impact statement. Like if we were going to go to council this month, that's probably not enough time for us to tell Baker Tilly to, hey, can you put a tax impact statement together for this proposed action? And they probably need time to do that. I don't even know if they could get it done by September 5th. So, we may not be able to get. Okay, do you know what date? Would it be before or after these guys meet in November?
It's out for us.
Are we cutting this pretty close?
I mean, you got a meeting in December. Could have a meeting, you have a meeting scheduled each month. So you can always come together in December.
Let me ask you a question about the mechanics. Again, I'm showing my ignorance of this. Doesn't county council exert their influence through planning and zoning and in other ways on this process rather than a direct vote? I mean, it's not like we're doing an end run around them or they're and freezing them out of having any influence on this. I wouldn't.
There are three
imagine-
members of this board that are
What's that?
appointed. Three members of this board are appointed by council.
Right. Well, also too, planning and zoning, the council has input there as well, and this has to go through. Several different stages before it gets there. Are we just adding another, I don't want to freeze anybody out of anything here, but are we just adding something onto here unnecessarily? I mean, there's a reason why the approvals are set out the way they are, I mean. It doesn't make sense to me to add one more administrative step onto this thing, but beyond what we have to do. It just doesn't make sense, that's all.
So it's something they were made aware of, it sounds like.
I had a conversation with the council president. That's the extent I go. I mean, if you want, I don't go to council on your behalf without permission to do so, so.
Right.
The reason I asked the question is, I heard say make them aware of it. But making them aware of is one thing and asking them for approval is another.
Right.
So I asked, which do you really want? The only time we are really required to have their approval is if we go into debt.
My thought would be just make them aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, if they have how many appointees on the board? I don't think there's any harm in it, I mean. It sounds like you can't get the tax impact study at the next meeting, don't they have their budget hearing, budget approval in a couple weeks?
Yeah, that's the August meeting, right, Connie?
But I mean,
August 22nd is the hearing, September 5th is the adoption, November 13th is the meeting after that.
Yeah, I think even September 5th at this, I don't know. I'd have to talk to Baker Tilly and see how quickly they think they could get it together, but just in my experience, it's good to leave about a month for that.
One thing we could do, if there's something hanging here, is we could approve the original motion. We meet in another month if we want to take it off then.
I'll reach out to the council members I can get a hold of and try to get a feel on things for this board.
Sure.
As an appointment, as a
Yeah.
representative council and their appointment to this board. I've spoken to Liz about it already.
okay.
Yeah.
A good thing about having a member of council on this board is they do have someone that can take information back to them.
Yeah.
So you have to
So
vote.
where are we? We have a motion on the floor that has not yet been changed. Is there anyone who wants to change that motion?
What exactly is?
And the motion, the motion that's on the table right now does not include approval by council.
That's correct.
All right. Just and advising him is what Doug's gonna do. Okay,
I'm fine with that, I'll second the motion on the floor.
okay, good.
Okay.
So
Are
we
there any other-
originally had Jordan second, but are we changing to Trevor now?
Say that again.
Jim made the original motion, Jordan seconded it,
Mm-hmm.
and now but we didn't
We
amend
didn't
it.
vote on that, though.
Okay, I get it.
But we're going to. 'Cause I know if we don't, you're gonna complain.
I won't complain, I'll just.
Thank you. That's nice of you. One more time. Are there any other comments or questions? All in favor of this motion, say aye. Opposed? And the motion is approved. I do have a copy of your signatures.
Anthony's got the top.
Think she helped.
Well, this is going around for signature. If we can move on to the new business. We own 3 acres. That 3 acres is up by the hospital. And we tried to sell it once and there were no takers. And we're proposing listing it again. The offering sheet is in your package. This. Is there any difference between this offering sheet and the one we approved last time?
Well, you could offer, she was approved last time, but I can find record of. So
Really?
that's why we're asking for the vote today, so we can proceed with advertising of it.
Oh, I thought we had completed that last one.
That's
Okay,
what I thought too, but
Can I ask a question?
uh,
Is that the corner of Wilson Creek and 48 that you're seeing? Is there's a piece of property up there that somebody, I think it was commissioners or whatever, we're talking about as a secondary landing site for the helicopter, there was a.
that was involved. At one time, that was a secondary landing site.
This is that.
I don't know if they're still using it. It's our property.
there is currently a lease in place for a portion of that as secondary landing site. There is a lease in place with Sadie
Okay,
as for the secondary helicopter landing site.
there we go.
So Sadie's been maintaining this property.
Right. So if we sell this property, what happens to their landing site?
The question for Sadie.
Okay. Maybe they'd want to buy it. Okay, gents, any questions about the offering sheet? There's not a lot. Ask for a motion. One way or the other.
We'll make a motion.
Sure. To approve or to deny?
To approve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would there be a second?
I second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion's approved. Mayor Becker, thank you for being patient and waiting.
Not a problem. Mark Rosenberger with Bear Becker. Under your item 9 there, we have a report. There's no update with the 74 eastbound ramp. I've not heard anything yet back from Mars and Thornburg on that, so nothing to really discuss there, just currently. The West Harrison Moore Drive Railroad Crossing, we did receive a construction agreement with Indiana Ohio Rail Yard. We did forward that on to Jim, and it should be in your packet. And I know council had some questions on the insurance and so forth, but I need to request this board to approve this agreement pending final satisfaction with council on the insurance requirements.
And so
the
you're
the
asking
key
that
piece.
we
I can't,
approve
I
the-
won't be able to get the railroad going unless that
Yes.
gets going. Did you have anything to add on that?
Is this all provided by the railroad?
Correct, yes. Actually, it's the Nash that represents
Yeah.
the railroad, but it's
Right.
the railroad.
And do you see any problems or surprises in this agreement?
No, I don't. So you have to ask your counsel what he saw.
The only thing that we were working on is the insurance provision here.
So you mean we need to go out and buy an insurance policy?
Yeah, they requested railroad protection policy, and I reached out to the county's insurance provider. And they had another suggestion, so I think with.
Okay.
And that's who's the engineer for the railroad.
So can we approve this without having the insurance in place? Or does this just say we will do it?
You can approve this contingent on us working out the insurance provision.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion that we approve the construction and maintenance agreement provided by the railroad. Pending, is it pending, contingent on our obtaining the required insurance. So would there be a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? If not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the construction and maintenance agreement is approved.
Mr. President, before we move on that matter. The alternative that the county's insurance company suggested would cost us approximately $600. Cost the county. I anticipate that this board would reimburse the county for that cost.
We could make a motion and make it certain.
I don't know that you would have to do that now, because if they don't accept that alternative and we have to do this specific policy, it would be more. In which case I'll bring that back to the board.
Does everyone understand the process that we're faced with? And would anyone express any objection to it? And we can, hearing no objections, you're pretty certain that it'll be approved in the future?
Yeah.
And if that's good enough, we'll let it go at that.
Thank you.
In addition to Moore Drive, past 5A, which incorporated the geotech and our boundary and topographic surveys completely finished.
That was amazing. I didn't understand it at all.
We're done with that right now. That's done. That task is finished. So we're in basically the 5B right now, the engineering. So we're gonna start the engineering Monday, and at that point, I'll go ahead and outline a full timeline for getting this proven done.
Wonderful.
So that's the cul-de-sac thing. I was concerned I was going to interject in this and cause a little bit of headache, but that's currently where we're at on this right now. So we're getting a design of it next week, and probably take me about 2 weeks. And at the next meetings report, I'll show you all the details and so forth and that. So the reason I wanted to get this construction agreement, because I don't want the Nash engineer not call me back to try to coordinate all this railroad construction that they need to do and so forth. So that was the purpose of that. So any questions on Moore Drive at all? Okay. West Harrison NDOT clearing building permit. Last month, I basically said I can't take it any further. So I did make a phone call to Devin Maynard, which is head of permits in Seymour District. He hasn't called me back. And I don't think we're going to get anywhere. It's.
Are we gonna end up tearing down that billboard?
I don't do anything with it. Just leave it alone.
Okay.
That's my recommendation right now, because they're not backing off it right now, unless Devin Maynard comes back, which I doubt he's going to do, and says, "Yeah, we'll do it. We'll take care of it." We're just not getting any indication. Mike did speak to Norton. We did get an email from Norton. And they just, you know, they have no information regarding those billboards, so.
And do they claim ever having it?
I don't think they did, no, I don't think they ever did. I just say, I basically recommended this board just put that to rest right now.
Gotcha.
The downtown Bright infrastructure, Mr. Kraus and I did have a conversation with, Chris Manjo. He's the real estate director for St. E's. He was not too hip for us putting a surface detention basin where we want to do it because it's parking that they would lose. Because I believe they're currently in the midst of selling that property to an entity. But he was going to get back to us after he brought it to his people at the St. E's, but he's never got back to me. I called him again last week. So the reason we can put in an underground detention facility, but he wanted to check with the people at St. E's. So
This one at St. Elizabeth is not an underground?
what's that?
Is this one at St. Elizabeth's property intended to be underground or not?
Yeah, it would have to be for
Yeah,
them to,
okay.
to let that happen.
Mhm.
We would have to put it underground.
You can't park on top of it?
We can. No, we would put underground and put a parking lot back on top of it. Right now, there's a
Okay.
parking lot there.
Okay.
And we were looking to see if we do a surface detention, but no, they want to keep their parking.
I
So
got
we
it.
would put an underground detention, put parking right back on top of it.
And that's more expensive or less, or
Yeah, it's more expensive. A lot more expensive.
we need some TIF money, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where that stands. I'm waiting for that response and then I can report back to the board here.
Okay. Thank you.
And that is it for now, unless anybody else has any questions.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
On Dearborn.
Just real quick on that green food grant update, happening. Yeah. Reminding you, we're gonna have to go and get,
various county approvals in order to even put that application into IEDC for the Ready Grant for the Moore Drive project. Mark's help, we got a project budget and a timeline. So I have assembled the paperwork for the county to approve. I sent that to Connie, Council President Liz Morris, and Board of Commissioners President Jim Thatcher today. And Council President Morris indicated that she would want that to go to a council meeting for approval. So I'm just following her lead and your lead, Connie, on if that does have to go, but I'm assuming we'll have to go to Board of Commissioners meeting as well. It's up to you. If you want me to kind of bird dog that for you, in a council meeting and a Board of Commissioners meeting, or if any of you would like to make that presentation and ask of council and Board of Commissioners.
Can we talk about it? And I think either you or I should do it.
I'm happy to assist if need be.
I think it'd be good for some of the new members to come along. Either of those meetings, if they want. I mean, we can let you know when they are. I think we're going to council on September 5th. And that's at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
9 a.m. on September 5th.
When is it? I'm sorry.
It's on
September
Friday.
5th.
It's a September 5th. It should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should
I mean, they're public meetings. You all are welcome to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, maybe not. Maybe that's a quorum and you got to advertise.
As a matter of fact, that can be quite enlightening.
But yeah, it'd be great. I think it's
that's
good
fine.
for the new members of redevelopment, I think, to keep up appearances with those folks. And then Board of Commissioners, I think I asked Sue about coming in September 2nd.
Second, yeah.
Yeah, for presenting that. So, and that would be a 8:30 a.m. meeting.
8:30.
So. I'm probably not even putting the presentation together. It's probably just more, somebody needs to stand at the podium, say, here's what we're asking. They may have questions, which Mr. Dean and I can be there to answer, and any of y'all. I don't anticipate it being a big deal.
But presence always helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Attorney report.
I don't have anything to add.
Thank you. Is there any other business to be brought before this commission this evening?
I have something that we need to discuss. The council graciously gave the employees a 3% raise again this year, and each year after the budget hearings, I usually come and I let you guys know. And then the board decides whether you're going to grant me in this position that I do for you, the same increase. Leah did the figuring, and with the bump in what I make and the perf and insurance, all together, it would be a grand total of $187 that your budget would change.
Another reason we need more TIF money.
To keep me happy.
We would always want to do that, wouldn't we?
So I would just need approval, a motion and approval so I can let,
Today?
yeah,
You don't, you're gonna wait until they said it, until they say okay?
no, they've said, okay, they've said,
They've already
okay,
done that.
yeah, they have said, okay.
Would you advise us of the proper motion necessary for that to happen?
Just, okay, Susie, you can have the 3%.
We have a motion now. We need a motion on the floor.
I'll do that.
Thank you, sir. Would there be a second?
Second.
Who is a second?
Are there any questions for Sue?
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm waiting.
Thank you very much.
Motion approved. Thanks, Sue. At this point, I'd like to open up and ask if there are any questions or comments from the audience. Thanks for being here. And if there's no other business to be brought before this commission this evening, this meeting is adjourned.